and future trends in analytics. That means I have some remembrance of my days in school, graduation and college. So I don't know how many of you know about census courses. When I was a student in 1993, and that is my first year of statistics, I did my BSc in statistics, and I'm somewhere in the back benches there. We used to get practical papers, 5 or 6 statistical problems, and then we have to complete those 5 problems and get out of. Until we don't complete those 5 problems, we are not marked present in our college. And there was a strict rule of 70% attendance in our college. Now what you see here, what is that? I don't see that calculator anymore nowadays. But it so happens that I was one of the worst students in the class. Like a backbencher, right? I was always the last to finish my practical. And the professor used to correct the practicals. And we have a bunch of guys, right? 2 or 3 guys. They always wonder why these guys cannot finish practicals. So although it's possible that we finish practicals first and they are still working on it. In your MBA classes, have you learned something like shift of origin and scale? When you do time series forecasting, right? There are years when you try to forecast on the horizon. There are shift of origin and scale. Have you learned that? I don't know why they still teaches those techniques, right? We have computers to do all those jugglery, isn't it? So the bad habit dies hard. So all the students were trying to do shift of origin and scale and try to solve the practicals. And what we did is we just used the calculator to find our mean, median, or whatever. And that's how we finished earlier than others. The reason I brought this up is to set the context of current and future trend in analytics. Right? This is how I started in 1983 with a calculator. Right? Come 5 years later, in 1998, when I was doing my master's in statistics, I got a little lucky from Mumbai University. We had projects like you guys have projects. You do market research projects and so on and so forth. I also did projects. Lucky in the sense, by the time our lab had software packages, small packages like SPSS, SAS. This is by the way base SAS screen, earlier version of SAS when we were a small company. So that had the base SAS screen where you do coding and stuff like that. Now, coming to present, which is our topic of discussion, right? What is our topic of discussion? Analytics. What do you see there? What do you see there?
Decision.
Time and decision and planning. What does this 3 things has to do with analytics? So let's take an example of marketing campaigns. Have you heard of marketing campaigns? All of you use mobile phones. All of us get messages we don't want to read and we don't want to activate any packs. Right? What is the problem with those messages? They're sending messages without really understanding whether we really need it or not. And they bombard you with messages, don't they? So when they send messages, it costs to the company, right? It costs to the company not only in terms of bandwidth, it costs to the company in terms of the fatigue of the customer. You know, I'm getting SMSs which I really don't. When some real SMS comes, which you can get benefited, you are already in a DND. You know what is DND? Right? You are already in DND. So all your good customers just goes into a DND. So why this is a problem of time we have in a given circle? So Ida is my customer. I was in Mumbai last time, and he said a similar event. He said he has 20 million customers in Mumbai alone, right? In Mumbai circle alone. And if I have to react to a customer from a marketing campaign or whether it's churning out or whatever, I have less time to react because if you're displeased with a service, you immediately disconnect, unlike a banking service. So I have a problem of 20 million customers. I have a problem of time. I have to reach out to them faster if I know something. And why is the problem of time? I have to reach out to them faster, right? I mean, if I had all the luxury in the world, I could take 1 year to reach out to them, but they cannot stay with me, right? So analytics today is largely revolving around these three dimensions. Any problem that you see in banking, especially in telecoms and insurance nowadays, not so much in retail, it's still growing, but retail is very much developed in European or US markets. Why is that? MBA, right? Why is retail sector? But it's going on, it's going to build up. I see good future in retail analytics as well, because retail customers are one of the big customers of SAS in the US and India. And they also generate huge amount of data. I used to work for JCPenney. All customers in US are on JCPenney books, right? They used to generate so much, they used to do so much of transactions. Our JCPenney warehouse was a sample of what they did. So we do all analytics on the sample. Imagine a warehouse in a corporate world was a sample of the customer. Right? You know what I'm saying? You just imagine the kind of volume JCPenney used to generate. It's a retailer, it's not even a telecom company. So what are we saying? I'm spending some money to touch our customers. I have this three-dimensional problems. I'm going to make money out of it, right? If I do it smartly, I'm going to make money out of it. And when I do this, right, spending money and getting some revenue, what is that? ROI. Right? And when you're looking at ROI, there is obviously analytics play here. Just twist it around, right? If there was a lot of time in your hand, if there are customers, and only 10 customers, right? There's no indecision. If customer comes and say, I'm going to cut your services, you do better do something about it. No, there's no indecision, right? Customer is telling you, I don't like you, right? In that case, this doesn't apply. Does it apply? It doesn't apply. Analytics doesn't apply. So what is our analytical life cycle? I just told you, right? You spend money, you get money, you have this three-dimensional problem. And all of us agree that we have to do analytics, right? So what is the analytics life cycle? So how are we going to solve the problem then? I'm talking from a corporate point of view, right? How are you going to solve this problem? So there is a methodology. Have you heard of Six Sigma methodology and stuff like that? There's a methodology to this. This guy will tell you more about this, but I'll just skip that. So what is the analytical life cycle? We start with a formulation of a problem, right? So if it's a bank, and if I have to figure out who is going to default, right? That's the starting point of my problem. Obviously, I have to source the data, then I have to explore, I have to transform, build a model. What is a build a model? What is building a model here? Trying to figure out that indecision problem, right? What are the factors that influences somebody going delinquent or not going delinquent? That's where we have this problem of indecision. So why is indecision? Because I cannot definitely say that he's going to go delinquent, right? And that's the reason why it's a probabilistic in nature. What is deployment of the model? This is very different from what you will probably do as a classroom exercise or even a project. Because if you look at this whole cycle, the end part of it is a deployment. What is a deployment? How to execute what you have learned in a corporate environment. And that is where actual dollars is. So a corporate are not there that can help them to make more money. Right? Why they can help them make more money? Because we are doing better selection, we are doing it in a timely fashion, we are helping them to increase the gap between the top arrow and the bottom arrow, right? The cost and the revenue. In India today, most of the top companies that you see, even the CSA Bank, they have established centers, which is called Business Intelligence Unit. And not all of these roles that I have mentioned here may not be existing there, but this is like an ideal scenario. And I think insurance companies are still grappling with this. Right? When I draw that chart, you saw different roles. Right? There is an IT guy, there is an analyst guy, and there is a business guy. Did you guys see that? Right. So all these people fall under this kind of a hierarchy. And that it is very important that all of these people work together to solve a problem. And if that problem, when you solve, is not one individual solving it. So there is a role for a business domain guy. He actually comes and tells you what is the delinquency, why it's a problem for him. He may not be able to translate that business problem into a cultural part of the banks are there. Banks are very much mature here. Telecom are getting a little mature. Insurance are just embarking on this kind of journey. As I said, retail, part of yours, to get all this structured and unstructured information in the system for corporate worlds to analyze, right? And that's what's happening. What's also happening is because we are able to capture that information, people are thinking what kind of analysis we can do, right? From a traditional decision tree, clustering, neural networks, what more can we do with the new kind of information that we have? Can I have algorithms which can analyze my voice and put it into my equation? Have you thought of that? Right? Those are the kind of things that probably are involved.